There is a $1, $25 object sitting on a shelf at your Dollar Tree right now. It collects energy from the sun all day long, stores it, and releases it as light for up to 10 hours after dark. Zero batteries, zero fuel, zero recurring cost, zero. The power grid has failed over 5 million American homes in a single storm. And when it goes dark, the candle industry, a $591 million annual market, is ready and waiting for you to panic buy something that kills 7,400 people every year in house fires. They are not going to tell you about the $1. 25 alternative. A solution this cheap cannot be sold in a bottle for $30. What cannot generate profit gets buried from public knowledge. Welcome to Bullet Survival. We dig up what the industry spent decades covering over, and we hand it to you in the form of a solution that costs less than a cup of coffee. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe. The vault is open. The power grid of the United States is not a modern machine. It is a 70-year-old infrastructure running on components that were designed in the 1950s, rated for a climate that no longer exists. The Department of Energy has confirmed in writing that the majority of high-voltage transmission lines in this country were constructed in the 1950s and 1960s with a planned operational lifespan of 50 years. Read that again. The planned lifespan has already expired. And yet here we are, 2026, plugging our refrigerators and our medical equipment and our children's nightlights into a system that should have been retired before most of us were born. The EIA, that is the U.S. Energy Information Administration, has documented that the average American now experiences over 8 hours of power interruption annually. 8 hours. And that number has doubled since 2013, not tripled. Doubled in 13 years. This is not a weather problem. This is an infrastructure problem wearing a weather costume every hurricane season. In February 2021, the state of Texas demonstrated exactly what happens when an aging grid meets a climate event it was never designed to survive. Over 5 million homes went dark. Temperatures dropped below zero, and within 90 minutes of the first outage reports, the flashlight aisles at Walmart and Target were empty. Gone. Every D-cell battery in the Houston metro area, gone inside of 2 hours. The people who survived that week with dignity were not the ones who drove to 4 different stores. They were the ones who had already solved the problem for $1. 25. Stay here with me, because what comes next is the part they have spent decades making sure you never think about. Here is the object. You have seen it 1,000 times. It is the small plastic stake with a black solar panel on top and a single LED at the bottom that your neighbor uses to line the pathway to his front door. Garden solar pathway lights. They are treated culturally as decorative garbage, a cheap aesthetic choice that middle-class suburban homeowners use to make their driveways look vaguely cared for. The industry wants you to see them that way, because the moment you stop seeing them as decoration and start seeing them as autonomous photovoltaic energy storage units, you stop buying batteries, you stop buying candles, you stop being a repeat customer for anything. A solution this cheap, this simple, and this permanent cannot be sold in a subscription model. You cannot patent sunlight. You cannot charge a monthly fee for a nickel metal hydride battery and a 4-centimeter photovoltaic cell. So the camping industry sells you a $40 headlamp with proprietary batteries. The emergency preparedness industry sells you a $25 hand crank lantern that breaks in the third use, and the $1. 25 object that does the same job sits in the seasonal aisle treated as lawn furniture. The technology inside that plastic stake is not complicated. It is not new. Almost every unit uses a rechargeable Ni-MH battery, nickel metal hydride, in delay or 2 format. These cells are engineered for approximately 300 charge cycles. That means, under normal conditions, daily use and daily recharge, this device is designed to function reliably for close to a year. But here is what makes it genuinely extraordinary for emergency preparedness. Unlike a standard alkaline flashlight battery that self-discharges sitting in a drawer and corrodes the contacts of your lantern by the time you actually need it, the solar pathway light is a living system. Every day that the sun rises, it charges. Every night that the sun sets, it illuminates. It maintains itself. You do not have to remember to test it. You do not have to buy replacement cells. It performs its one job every single day without any input from you, which means on the day the grid fails, it is already charged and already ready. That is not decoration. That is a resilient system hiding in plain sight. Why does almost no residential homeowner understand this? Why does every camping retailer sell you a $40 filter, a $25 lantern, a $35 emergency kit, instead of pointing you toward the $1, $25 object at Dollar Tree? The answer is in the revenue model. There is no recurring revenue in a photovoltaic cell and a NiMH battery. There is no repeat purchase in sunlight, and what cannot generate a repeat purchase does not get shelf space in the camping aisle, does not get a sponsored post, does not get featured in the emergency preparedness email your utility company sends you after a storm. The same utility company that has never once, not in a single customer communication, mentioned that a $1 25 solar stake can keep your household lit through a multi-day outage. Not once in an email, not once in a bill insert. The General Services Administration has been specifying photovoltaic lighting for federal facilities for over 3 decades. For residential customers, nothing. The raw photometric output of a standard pathway light is between 1, 2, and 3 lumens. That number is going to sound discouraging until you understand what it actually means in a real emergency scenario. The human eye, when fully dark adapted, can navigate effectively at illumination levels far below what ambient artificial lighting provides. What you need during a nighttime power failure is not the equivalent of your kitchen overhead fixture. You need enough light to move through your home safely, to read a label, to find your medication, to keep a child calm. A single 2-lumen LED, when properly diffused, is sufficient to illuminate a 10-foot by 12-foot room at functional navigation level. The key word there is diffused. If you point the bare LED at your face, it is uncomfortable and nearly useless as a room light, but place that head unit face down inside a standard mason jar, the frosted glass variety, and the physics of refraction transforms that single directional beam into 360-degree ambient illumination. The frosted glass scatters the photons across the full interior surface of the jar, which then re-emits them as diffuse, omnidirectional light. A family in Phoenix implemented this system across 10 units, $13 total, and documented that they navigated a 72-hour outage following a monsoon event with 0 candles, 0 battery purchases, and 0 safety incidents. Their standard alternative would have been $40 in D-cell batteries consumed in approximately 18 hours of use. I need to be honest with you here. A 2-lumen diffused garden stake is not a replacement for your overhead lighting. It will not let you read fine print comfortably. It will not replace the lumens of a quality headlamp for detailed tasks. If you are performing first aid, if you are working on a mechanical repair, you need more light than this system provides. The solar pathway light is not a perfect standalone solution for every scenario, but for ambient navigation, for the basic human need to move through your home, to find your family, to maintain psychological calm during an extended outage, it is more than sufficient, and it costs $1. 25. That is the combination the industry cannot tolerate. Now here is the practical deployment protocol. First, The 10-unit rule. Purchase 10 units. Dollar Tree sells individual units at $1. 25. Walmart and Amazon carry multi-packs at approximately $15 to $20 for a set of 10, which brings the per-unit cost to $1 50 to $2. Zeros. Place 2 units in each critical zone of your home: kitchen, bathroom, primary bedroom, hallway, and 1 exterior staging area. This ensures that when the grid fails, every zone where a person might need to move in the dark has an active light source already charged and already deployed. You have spent $15 to $20 total for the entire house. Second, the indoor charging adaptation. Modern, low-E glass, the kind installed in most residential windows constructed after 2000, blocks a portion of the high-energy photons that drive peak photovoltaic efficiency. Testing suggests that indoor window charging delivers approximately 60% of outdoor charging efficiency. This is not ideal, but it is sufficient. Place your units on the south-facing windowsill with maximum sky exposure during daylight hours. The 60% charge delivers 4 to 5 hours of functional light output, which covers the critical gap between sunset and midnight, the window during which most household navigation occurs and most candle-related fire incidents happen. Third, the mason jar diffuser. Remove the head unit from the stake. Place it face down inside a standard frosted glass mason jar. The jar sits on any flat surface. The photoresistor on the unit, the small sensor that tells it to activate when ambient light drops, will still function through the glass. It will activate automatically when you turn off other light sources. You have just built a functional emergency ambient lantern for a total material cost of approximately $2. 25, including the jar. Fourth, the annual maintenance protocol. Once per year, open the battery compartment, clean the contacts with a cotton swab and a small amount of white vinegar to remove oxidation. If the original NiMH cell has degraded past functional capacity after 300 cycles, replace it with a premium Eneloop rechargeable Wadipaway cell. Eneloop cells are rated for 2100 cycles. That single 2-Adler battery replacement extends your unit's functional lifespan by approximately 7 years. You have now built a 7-year emergency lighting asset for under $5. Total. Hurricane Ian in 2022 proved what every serious preparedness practitioner already knew. Logistics infrastructure collapses before the storm does. Roads flood before the grid fails. The shelves of every Home Depot, Walmart, and Dollar General in a storm corridor are empty. 48 hours before landfall. The people who are comfortable during that event are not the ones who are smarter. They are the ones who were earlier. The people standing in line at the gas station fighting over the last pack of Rayovac D cells made their decision too late. The decision you make today to spend $15 and place 10 solar stakes around your home is a decision that exists entirely outside the supply chain disruption window. You do not need a truck to deliver it. You do not need a power outlet to charge it. You do not need a company to keep selling you consumables. The sun handles that part for free every morning without exception. Every person who understands this system is one less customer for the $25 emergency lantern. Every share of this information is a direct reduction in the market for products that were designed to extract money from you during your most vulnerable moments. The knowledge was never hidden in a laboratory. It was sitting on a shelf at your local store for $1. 25. Mislabeled as a garden decoration, waiting for someone to tell you what it actually is. Batteries run out, candles burn down, but the sun shows up every single morning for free. Make sure you are positioned to catch it. Subscribe. Share this with someone who's going to need it before the next storm season. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside is heavier than this.